Welcome to the first episode of the Message Reviews podcast. First off, I just want to thank you for being here. For those of you that clicked the link in my TikTok to come check this out, I greatly appreciate it. So for those of you who know, since you clicked on the link, or if I just, however you found out, I do reviews on TikTok. I go by Message on TikTok, and I do reviews on pretty much whatever I want. Movies, we do tech, games, food, drinks, whatever we want to do, we do, right? So I decided a long time ago that I was going to do a podcast and do a daily or weekly review, right, on our daily TikToks that we make and our reviews, on top of longer discussions on certain topics, whatever they may be. I'll try to get some friends and people to help me do panels and things like that on certain topics. So today is the first episode of the podcast. Before I start, I want to thank Jackzilla on Twitch. If you don't know who he is, Jackzilla on Twitch, he's a popular streamer. He streams COD. I've known of him and met him, I guess, I don't know, about 9 months ago, 10 months ago. And he encouraged me to start doing reviews on TikTok, which has led to me doing this podcast. So, Jack, if you're seeing this, thank you. I greatly appreciate you giving me that push and inspiring me to do this. I'm loving every bit of it so far. And another huge shout out to Nutrientpond, who hopped into Discord when I got all my equipment, helped me run through audio settings to make sure everything was perfect, and couldn't have done it without you. I greatly appreciate it. And then another shout out to BlaNk, who, when I was trying to set up OBS and figure out how I needed everything to look, he hopped into Discord with me to make sure I could set it all up properly. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it. All right. So this week's topics or the reviews we did this past week. We did a review on a whiskey. It was by Willett Whiskey. It was a great bourbon. If you haven't seen the TikTok, you should go check it out. A lot of my liquor reviews do really well. So I'm a bourbon drinker. I am a beer drinker. And this bourbon was phenomenal. The bottle's behind me. Let me grab it real quick. Here's the bottle. Let's see. It's phenomenal. You should definitely check it out. If you like bourbon or like good whiskey, you will like this. I promise. It was phenomenal. I tried it out and did a review on it last night. We did that. That was great. We did, of course, the Warzone update that just came out. And that will be in a segment later on. I got some friends that hopped on a Discord call with me to help go over our thoughts about where Activision is headed. So stay tuned for that. We'll do that. And then Mortal Kombat came out this morning on April 23rd. Obviously, you're seeing this Monday, so it came out last week, April 23rd, and we will do that with a group of panels. We got one diehard fan and 3 casual fans, so look for that. There was a little bit of technical difficulties on some of it, but I think I edited it well enough for it to push through. But good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely need to go check it out. But stay tuned. That's at the end of the podcast. That'll be the last segment of the day. But our first segment for the day, for those of y'all who've been waiting, I've been watching all of the Godzilla and King Kong, the Monsterverse movies, right? We decided to start ranking them because Godzilla vs. King Kong had just came out. And after watching it, I decided that I needed to rewatch the other movies. And I have come to the conclusion, we're just going to jump right into it because you've already seen my opinions on it. The best film was Kong Skull Island. And if you don't agree with me, that's too bad. But the best movie out of that entire series, and this is the first movie, right? 2017 is when it came out. It is the best movie. It has the best storyline. It has character build. It has plot build, right? A great action scenes, right? And quite honestly, I like King Kong better than I like Godzilla, okay? So to each his own. But here's the ranking. If you hate it, that's too bad. It's my ranking. Leave your rankings in the comments on what you prefer. I saw someone out there saying that Godzilla versus or Godzilla King of the Monsters is the best movie, you're wrong, in my opinion. But for you, whatever. It was my number 2. So let's go over the rankings, right? We're going to start with number 1. Number 1, like I just said, it is Kong Skull Island. No doubt about it. If you don't believe me, go rewatch the movie and then tell me it's not better than all the other movies. Because it is. It's better than all the other movies. So, Kong Skull Island. Second, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Easy second. Great action scenes. A little bit of plot build, not a lot. But it's the second best. It's got the best action scenes for sure. I'll give you that. It definitely has the best action scenes. Dude, Ghidorah's crazy. So, best action scenes. That goes number 2 for me. Because for me, I look at everything, right? I don't just look at whether or not it's got good action scenes, right? That's not the end-all, be-all, which is why Godzilla vs. Kong fell all the way back down to 3 out of the 4 movies, right? It fell to number 3 because that movie felt like it was missing a lot of things. And we found out that, if you haven't found this out, they shot 5 hours worth of film for that movie. 5 hours, right? It feels like it's missing something for me. I don't know about y'all. It feels like it's missing something. Now, overall, do I think the best fight scene in all the movies is Godzilla vs. King Kong? Yes. The best fight scene in the entire Monsterverse for me currently was them fighting on the ship. That was the best scene. Hands down. Love that scene. My favorite scene. It was just like, it was well done. It was crazy to see that. That's the best scene. But yes, the Godzilla versus King Kong is number 3. And then, of course, Godzilla ranked number 1. It was slow at a lot of points, but it did have, in my opinion, the best acting, and it had the best storyline build up for it, because you're supposed to go from knowing nothing, right, to then it happening. So it makes sense that it's going to be the slowest, because you got to build all the plot around it, right? But the difference between that movie and Kong Skull Island is it didn't take that long to build the story up. Not at all. Didn't take that long. So, again, my opinion, you can like it or not, but number 1, Skull Island. Number 2, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Number 3 is King Kong vs. Godzilla. Number 4 is just the Godzilla movie. That's the ranking. If you don't like it, that's fine. Let me know in the comments, what did you like the best? But that's what I like the best. When I rewatched it, it came out in 2017. It still holds up. Like, imagine if it was made yesterday, right? Jeez, it would have been, like, the CGI would have been even better. Like, I don't know. My personal favorite. My rankings, right? This is message reviews. This isn't the world reviews, right? This is message reviews. But I do respect y'all's opinion. Again, if you want to rank yours, go ahead and rate in the comments. But those are mine. So, next topic. We had a new game come out, a beta, and the game is called Enlisted. It is a World War II game. It's got 2 game modes. It's got the squad mode and the regular mode, and it's got 2 separate maps. I think everyone's just getting bored and they just don't know what to play. Like, I played it for 3 hours hoping something, right? It was okay. It was free. But that game's going to take a lot of grinding to where I just don't see where it's going to hit, to be honest. I'd rather play Apex, Valorant. I'd rather play COD, and everyone knows how I feel about COD right now. But it wasn't it. It was okay at best. It was okay at best. Will I waste more time? I already uninstalled. I won't even waste any more time playing it. I won't. I'm sorry. I'm not going to waste my time playing it. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But, so some big streamers played it. So I decided to give it a try. You could frag out, though. I had a game. I got 74 kills. But, I mean, if you know the game and the concept of it, that's why. I mean, the way it's built is it's more realistic. You get the upper chest or you get the headshot. They're done. They don't drop on those shots either. They drop and they're done. So the main game mode is squad, where you'll have up to 4 or 5 squadrons. You can move in between the characters, and you can build each character differently, like what type of gun they have, SMGs, rifles, snipers, and then as you go and move around the map, the other ones will kind of come with you with AI, and they're not terrible AI either, which is pretty good. But that game's so predictable, man. I stayed at one spot and camped the spot out, and all the other characters or all the enemies were coming, and I was just sniping them left and right to where I ran out of ammo. Like, if I'm dropping 74 kills in a game, it's not very good. Call that a hot take, but it's not. I'm a casual, maybe a filthy casual gamer. I'm pretty good at some games. I'm not a streamer I don't do this every day for a living. I'm not that great. I'm pretty good. I'm not 74 kills in a game good. I'm just not. But that's my opinion. It is what it is. It was a fun time to buy some time, but I don't recommend it personally. Go play something else that's not free. Spend some money. Go play Squad. Like I played Squad and never played it before. 10 times better. Yeah, it costs some money, but dude, you want a game that's challenging, oh my God, Squad is the game. If you want something different to play and you never played a new game before, go play Squad. My recommendation, solid game. That's probably the most realistic war game I ever played. Easily. Great game. So go play something like Squad. Pick up Squad. So those were the few topics that I'm gonna do myself. To be honest, I don't know how I'm gonna transition this. I'm just gonna kind of transition to it. The first thing we're gonna jump into is we're gonna jump into the Warzone talk with my buddies, and then we're gonna jump into the Mortal Kombat. Just a heads up, Mortal Kombat. I didn't get like 4 diehards. I got 1 diehard and 3 casuals, right? So we're just talking it out. Good movie. If you want to see our opinion, stick to the end. It's not gonna be, right, the best review of your life, right? I'm not professional movie review who writes in the paper, okay? But me and my buddies got together and want to talk about it, so we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we do what we want to do here on the Message Reviews podcast, right? And if I want to have a conversation with my buddies about a new movie that came out, or I want to have a conversation with my buddies about games we play, then we're gonna do that. We have a good time doing it, right? So I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. So take it away, me. All right. Next segment. I've got some friends with me today. We're going to talk about the state of Warzone, the event that just took place. The event was on the 21st of April, and then it had a part 2 the next day. Our thoughts on it. I'm going to go ahead and start real quick. I thought the event was garbage, at least the first one. I raged for the most part for 45 minutes, and then the second one was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. Chico, you streamed it. What'd you think?
I did. The first one was pretty bad. I was very disappointed. But I really me personally, I like the second one. I like how they went from the rebirth into the new map. I definitely I've always been an old soul, so I like the colors of the old map, the same map, but the reskin of the map. It's not a new map. Everybody, please stop calling it a new map. It's a reskin. Sorry for apologies. It's a reskin map, which me personally, I love it a lot. I like it a lot.
All right, Cowboy, what'd you think?
Honestly, part 1 was freaking trash. I was working when it dropped. I did get the chance to come home after work and hit it. I was very disappointed. I've never been much of a Rebirth fan, so honestly, I didn't really like that part. One part I did like was being able to actually see the nuke if you looked, I believe, west. That was a cool feature to add to it. But I was working again, and with some other things going on, I wasn't really able to hit that last part, but I do like the new map. The colors are a lot more vibrant than they used to be. It used to kind of be a dull deal in Verdansk. But, I like it now. The colors just kind of make the map the way it is.
And Moulty, what did you think, buddy?
It was absolutely trash. If they put it together and they did it the right way, instead of doing it in a 2-day thing, they did like part one at whatever time part one dropped, and did part two when you went to Rebirth. Okay, that would have been pretty cool. They should have been prepared for all the people to join it, because why wouldn't everybody join it? But what can you expect from Activision at this point? You know what? I'm just glad they didn't just add a little segment to it and call it the new map, new part of the map, like they did with the boat and all that other nonsense. So I'm happy with it. The event was kind of dumb. I was at work, so I didn't get to. I watched people do it, but it was like a waste of time, anyways.
The biggest problem I think I had with the whole quote unquote live event, right, was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we saw Epic Games do live events left and right where you could go in game and have experiences, right? I remember the Travis Scott event, the Marshmallow event, the event for another one where
Avengers.
the Avengers, Star Wars. How many live events have they been able to put on flawlessly in game at a particular time? Half a dozen, if not more than that at this point. I don't know. I haven't played the game in a year, but that's what's upsetting to me is that when you see other companies take care of their players and give them something to look forward to. We heard all of this stuff from like big streamers, right? Oh, the new map, oh, the event, it's gonna be awesome. And I just didn't get that in this. Like, I mean, Chico, like the fact that I got in 45 minutes before the event started, right?
Yeah.
You tried to 15 minutes ahead of time, couldn't get in. The fact that I literally Discord streamed it to your audience for the first 30 minutes is crazy to me. That's just crazy. I can't believe that they just weren't prepared. And then a cutscene? Really? A cutscene?
A cutscene.
That's all we got. That's literally all we got.
A cutscene. Go ahead, Chico.
I have to agree with something that they've been saying is we all heard it from Jack also. They weren't prepared for Warzone to be this big because they're so used to releasing new games every single year. So when it came down to it, they had no idea what to do or how to do it. I'm guessing Call of Duty is huge, right? It's been around for many, many, many years. I think they need to either hire the guy that's doing the live events at Epic Games, or find somebody that knows how to do it so they can even make more money than what they're making now. Instead of bringing out a new game every single year, wasting a lot of money creating that game for it to only last 365 days, and then spend more money than the following year to come out with a new game that you don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. Like, look at Cold War. I personally, the only reason why I bought Cold War was because of zombies. That is it. And that's because I'm old school. I like zombies back in the day, and that's the reason why I bought it. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have purchased that game, to be honest.
You look at games like Battlefield, where they come out every 3 to 4 years, something like that, and every single one of them is just about a banger. The last one wasn't very good because they rushed that one.
Yeah,
and I think they spent 2 years on that. So you look at that, and you're like, you look at Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, I think it was the World War I one, and they were all bangers. We played that nonstop. We continued to play it. We enjoyed playing that game. But then you look at Call of Duty, they're coming out with one every year, and it's a hit or miss 9 times out of 10. Most of the time we buy it just so we can have a little change of pace, and we get bored with something else. Then we get bored of that so quickly, we just go right back to Battlefield or whatever else we were playing.
Yeah. I agree.
One thing I want to say is, like, you can load into like a Warzone lobby, and then it shows up hey, here's like 23 days of free Cold War. It's because they made. I mean, don't get me wrong, Warzone is an amazing game. Yeah, it's gonna have its perks and all that stuff. It's gonna have its bugs and all that. But the fact that they have to give out free trials and let people play Cold War for free, and it's just, it amuses me. They've made all these good CODs in the past, from Black Ops 2. I'm not gonna say Advanced Warfare because we all know how that one went. But to Modern Warfare 2, and then they came out with this an amazing game. Good, started out with really good mechanics. But yeah.
Fun fact: I saw that Warzone wasn't supposed to be free. They were gonna give a trial to see how it worked, and then they were gonna start charging for that game itself. But since it did so well and the store did amazing, they kept it free and just adding things to the store, which I thought was the
That's all they
greatest
care
thing they
about.
could have done.
I don't care about the store.
So
Hey,
I've heard a couple of things. I'll have to go look who I've heard this from, but it makes a lot of sense. So apparently Warzone was supposed to be a year long with Modern Warfare. Black Ops was supposed to come out. They were going to kill the game like they always do, and we were supposed to get so. Do you all remember that first map that got leaked that looked like the Cold War engine?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was supposed to be Blackout 2. From my understanding and from all the research I've done, apparently that was supposed to be Blackout 2. So we were supposed to get Blackout 2 after Modern Warfare's Warzone. And I mean, what are you going to do with the time that you have when something blows up and you got to scratch other projects? Apparently that's why Raven Software was told, right? Hey, we need something. Give us something. And all they could come up with in a short matter of time was take the skin you have for the map. Let's change some things around. Let's update it a little bit. Let's make the graphics a little more vibrant to grab more attention. And let's put that out there because you don't have time to make a new game. You don't. You can't start over, especially when you canceled Blackout because nobody wanted to play that crap. They know exactly how many sales they've done on Cold War compared to Modern Warfare. And I guarantee you, once Cold War got released, I bet you if you look at the amount of money they're still making on skins and other things when it comes to Modern Warfare, I bet you it's still so much more that they were just like, scrap that. You know, we just got to put some more Modern Warfare content out. I mean, didn't they just announce that the new COD's going to be on the same Modern Warfare engine?
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so.
Do you think... Here's a concept I heard. I can't remember who I heard it from. Do you think that we let developers off the hook?
Absolutely.
Now, what I mean by that is think about back in the day when you're playing any game, Halo, the old CODs, any game, right? How many bugs are in those old games? Very few.
No.
Very few. Nowadays, I feel like there's a rush to just put some sort of content out so that we don't have to, so they can just, because they know they're just going to fix it if something goes wrong, right? I don't understand how we put up with Warzone having the same bugs for the last, year and a half now? It's been a year and a half, and we've had, the stim glitch, 7 times? Invisibility glitches. All these glitches that we let happen, or they let happen on purpose for the most part. At least that's what it looks like. We just kind of accept it and go on. I remember a day when the game didn't get released until it was actually finished. Like, I feel like what's that game that came out recently that completely screwed up, right? And they had to take it off the...
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like, how do you...
Okay, let's not.
You can't rush. You cannot rush developers when it comes to making a game. And I think that at this point, everyone just wants something now, especially because the pandemic might have happened or whatever. But still, like, I don't know, man. Me, being completely honest, I don't know how much longer I can put up with playing Modern Warfare cold. Like, I can't at all. Like, I don't know how much longer. It's not fun anymore. It's fun sometimes when I'm playing with, like, y'all, or playing with Jack, or playing with other friends, right? But it's not something I could play with myself. Like, I feel like for a game to be really good, you should be able to have fun by yourself. Is that too much to ask for? Am I overreaching? What do y'all think about that?
Absolutely, you're overreaching. Hold people accountable for something? Now you're talking crazy. It's ridiculous. Like, my only thing that I will say is I feel like they are not prepared for the volume of people. Like if they didn't make Warzone free, I feel like a lot more issues would have been solved because the volume of people wouldn't have been there for it being free. Because they would have had to actually go out and buy it, per se. It's not an excuse for them. They should definitely be held accountable for all this nonsense that we have to deal with constantly. But I feel like they definitely aren't prepared 9 times out of 10 for whatever volume is going on.
Oh, absolutely. One thing I kind of want to say is like, kind of touch on what Moulty said. They weren't prepared for so many people to be playing the game, where it's going to be harder for them to keep up on, say, an anti-cheat. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They could put in an anti-cheat. They're talking about one now where you can't have any third-party apps open to play Warzone. Look, same kind of thing they did for Fortnite. But you look at it, there's still a way around it. Then they have all these false bans. So there's so many people that aren't hacking, that get accused of it, that do get banned. Take Symphony, for instance. He's been banned 5 or 6 times now because he plays on a high DPI and he'll just hit the flick. Sometimes he's just lucky and he'll actually hit armor, and you see his freaking face after he does that. He's like, oh, shoot. Like, there's nothing. That's just how many hours has he played? I mean, they need to start holding their workers accountable. And, I mean, this would be an amazing game where, I mean, potentially you could play by yourself if you wanted to, if there was an anti-cheat in. If they started actually fixing the bugs in the game that have been there for who knows how long. Like you said, the stim glitch has been back 7 times. Invisibility has been back twice. Simple. I mean, I'd say it's simple, but I'm not a computer tech. I don't know a dang thing about a computer. But it should be, for a multi-billion-dollar company, I'll say, it should be simple.
All right. How much longer do you think this game's got? Now we know Halo's supposed to come back with a battle royale, at least is being teased in October, right? Not everyone's Halo, not everyone. Halo's not one of those games that I think that and only because I think it was an Xbox exclusive for forever pretty much until like now it's on PC or whatever, but like so I don't know if Halo is big enough to kill it. You know what I mean? I do think between Halo and Battlefield coming out at the end of the year, I do think between those 2 games, you could kill it. Do you think that it dies? Or do you think that somehow August, September, they find a way to fix whatever they got to, get their crap together and put something together that can outhold these next 2 games coming out? Because I personally, A, I don't see it happening. And B, even if it does, do we want it to?
Yes. We want it to, at least me personally, I think it still has a couple more years. I even have Battlefield coming out or Halo coming out. There's always a handful of people that are COD fans for life, and they're going to prefer Call of Duty over any other game, right? Will they get their shit figured out by next season? I doubt it, but they're definitely going to fix it. But this version of Warzone, this version of gameplay, it's not going to go anywhere because there's always going to be that handful of people that are Call of Duty ride or die, regardless of what you come out. So it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to take them time to fix their issues.
So,
like, even
real quick on that, Chico, sorry to interrupt you, but I had a question because of that comment, right? So what happens, right, if the big Twitch stars leave, right? What happens if you lose Nick Merckx? What happens if you lose Tim the Tatman yesterday? Or no, was it not yesterday? Yeah, the last 2 days. Nick Merckx had 250,000 people he was streaming to, and then Tim the Tatman had about 150,000 people he was streaming to these live events, and then the next person under them was 34,000. So these two people carry. So they did what? That's 400,000 total. At one point, the highest I saw was 1 million. These two people are 40 to 50% of the viewership on Twitch. If they leave, what happens to Call of Duty?
It's still gonna be good. Like, look at these guys have been switching games since we can remember. Since we started watching them, they always switch to what's hot, but yet they still end up going back to the same games. Like, what's Tim's backup if Call of Duty isn't working? It's Valorant. He goes to Valorant, or he switches over to Fortnite. What's Nick's merch backup when Call of Duty is not working? He's going straight to Fortnite. So if it's Call of Duty Warzone is gonna be the same thing for the big streamers. Battlefield is gonna come out. Everybody's gonna jump over to Battlefield, and when they're tired of Battlefield, they're gonna be jumping to the old games that they're so comfortable with. And Warzone is gonna be one of them. Why? Because there's a big following for Call of Duty.
So you don't think there is a chance? I mean, Halo's huge. Like, Halo is huge, right? And I know both Tim and Nick are very excited for the Halo to come out. You don't think there's a chance that game lasts a decent amount of time? Bungie and Microsoft have had plenty of time to look at everything and go, okay, what is working, what is not working? They've sat there in the background for the last 4 or 5 years, right? And looked at how the gaming industry is going, right? It's battle royale, it's free to play type things. You make skins, you make money. They've had the time, right? If they've had the time, and same with Battlefield, right? They've had the time to see what works, what doesn't work. I think between the two of them, at least one of them is going to have the next game, right? It's going to be the next Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. It's got to be. And if it's not, then what the hell were you doing the last 3 or 4 years? Like, really? You have had all the time in the background just chilling like a villain, doing nothing. Well, except hopefully developing a game that's going to destroy these games.
This is gonna sound extremely fun, but it's true. The majority of the big games that we all know from back in the day, unfortunately, they have the same old school people working there that one are not as advanced as the kids. If you look up, I forgot the roster. I need to look it up. Not the roster, but the website. You can look up the people that are working at Epic Games and people that worked on Fortnite. These kids are all young. They're all youngsters, 19, 20. And I'm pretty sure all the people working in Halo and all the people at Call of Duty is still the old folks that were back in the old days that are still trying to keep doing the same thing that worked back in the days. And I hope I bite my tongue, but Halo, I honestly don't think Halo's going to work out. I personally don't think so. It is a big game, and I love Halo. Dude, that's how I started playing on computer, because of Halo in school, in high school. That's all we would do in my computer class, play Halo online, and I fucking loved it. But I don't think it's gonna be popping. Oh, we lost Moulty. Oh, there he is.
I mean,
I agree with what Chico's saying. I don't think Halo has the potential definitely for their fans. Kind of like the same thing at Call of Duty. They got their fans, and their fans will swarm all over it, and they will go to it. But it's not. Halo alone will not be able to kill it. Battlefield, if Battlefield does it right, Battlefield can kill it entirely. If they have truly gone back and supposedly what they're saying is supposed to be a Battlefield 3, 4 type game with complete destruction, all this stuff, if they deliver on all the things that they say they're going to deliver on, then Call of Duty either is really going to have to step up their game for this next thing, or they're really going to have to step up their game for this next thing, because it's not going to be pretty for them. So that's what I feel like. Going back to that last subject, we give them so much slack because we don't have anything else to do right now. But now, as soon as all these games are going to come out, they're going to be like, well, this is weird. Now we got to actually step up our game and go and make something better and make something that can compete with these guys because now they're relevant again. You go back and people are still going back and playing the old Battlefields, even the old Call of Duties. They're all going back and playing the old stuff. Yeah, but once the new stuff comes out and the new stuff's what they promised on, what they delivered on, they're gonna stop. So Warzone probably won't die right away. It'll stay barely floating, but it's gonna make them step up their game. As soon as that stuff starts coming out and they start losing all these people, they're gonna lose all the Halo followers, all the Battlefield followers, because they're sick and tired of Modern Warfare just as much as we are. So as soon as they start, they're gone. They're gonna have their main Call of Duty followers, and then they're gonna eventually start getting bored too and go over to Battlefield and start messing around with that, start messing around with Halo or whatever they can. And then what? Then they're either gonna have to step up their game or they're gonna lose everybody.
You know, go ahead.
100%. I honestly agree with Moulty and Chico. They need to step up their game if they want to keep this game afloat. I was going to say, you hop into a game of Warzone, what do you see? Them corner campers with the AUG or the FFAR or sniping an ATC building. ATC tower. It's the same shit. Every single game. You're running into them rose skins that are sitting in a corner where it's pitch black, where you can't see them. They really need to... Go ahead, Chico.
No, go ahead. Finish.
They really need to step up their game if they want to keep their Modern Warfare Warzone. They want to keep it afloat. They need to kick their butts in gear. Because I don't have a problem going to Battlefield or Halo.
I'm gonna go wherever you guys are going. Wherever you guys go, that's where I'm gonna be. But I want to
exactly.
Add
but
to,
look at us. We're tired of it.
Wait. But I want to add to what you two said. Like, I hate those campers. I hate the roll skin too. I totally agree. But out of all the five of us here right now, you two should know and understand why it plays they play the way that you play. If they send you guys out to eliminate somebody, you're not going to be running in the middle of the zone like, hey. What are you going to do? You're going to stay back. You're going to camp. You're going to figure out what's your surroundings, and then you're going to attack. That's how the mode is played, and that's exactly the right way that we all should be playing, right? Stepping back, analyzing what's around us, and then move forward to get the victory. But we don't like to do that. We just like to rush, and eventually we end up dying. But you can't blame them for playing the game how it's supposed to be played. You're supposed to be playing behind on the dark spots where nobody can see them, to eliminate the target. You can't blame them. We're seeing it differently because we're not used to that.
I will say this about that real quick though. I gotta agree with you on that. Unfortunately, you're right. But it's that doesn't bug me. I would rather die to a camper all day. What bugs me is these cheaters. I can't put up with that crap anymore. That's what I'm done with. That's what pisses me off more than anything, right? I played Fortnite for a long time. One thing Fortnite was very big on and very proud that they were able to do is there was not cheaters just walking around the game every game. You don't walk into a lobby and there's 20% of the people playing running a Kronos. Like, that just doesn't happen.
One thing that I will say to what Chico said is that the game Call of Duty is designed to camp, yes, but that's not the problem with it. Is that you can't do anything about it unless you just completely go in with the whole team or you somehow able to get the drop on them real quick. You look at games like Battlefield, or you want to go talk real life. You got a sniper's nest sitting in a tower. What do? You blow the tower up. They're dead. They're gone. You can't do that in Call of Duty. They stay there until you're finally able to get a lucky shot or have someone that's able to get a flank on them or something to take them out. So then it runs in that problem of, well, I guess now we'll run around and we'll go around the other way because we can't go that way anymore. No, you just get a rocket launcher and she gone.
I mean, you can get a rocket launcher, but the tower's not going to go down. The player might
Well,
go
exactly.
down.
Hopefully it does
Well,
in Battlefield, though.
You're in a building with a door shut, then you break armor. Well, then they're plating up already by the time you're pushing. It's
true.
not a
It's
win
true.
situation.
It's
If
true.
we want to talk about stuff like that, then it's. I understand it. You know, and some people are those kind of players. We can't play like that because we're definitely hard pushers, and because we're not going to sit there if we get bored doing that. If I camp, I will die immediately because I suck at camping. I don't know how that even happens, but that's the only gripe I will say to that.
It's true. It's true. But you have to admit, it is better than what they had before. I was waiting for you guys to finish, and I was looking it up because I didn't know exactly when it was released. But in April 2nd of 2019 is when they released the Blackout mode for the BO4, which was a similar battle royale game, but it was for Black Ops 4, which was garbage because you had the little guns that would propel you to the roof, and you had all these extra stuff. That's from that to Warzone. It's a big change. Like, it was a huge upgrade to what we have now. I 100% like more Warzone now than the Blackout mode that they had in 2019.
That's correct, but there was not cheaters and there wasn't bugs and glitches in Blackout compared to how it is in Warzone, and that's, I think, the biggest difference between the two games.
But they didn't have that stuff because you ran, you found your gun, you get your attachments from that. You didn't grab a crate and then have a blueprint already with the gun pre-built. No, you went up, you picked your gun, and then you went and you found your attachments like every other BR that you play.
Yeah, and okay, so I got one more. I got a couple more questions, and then we'll get out of here because we're pushing the 30-minute mark already. So, first question is, what do you prefer Battle Royale-wise? Would you rather have it the way Warzone has it currently, where you can just have your own pre-built guns with the drop? Or do you find it more satisfying, and do you like it better when you have to build your weapon and find all your attachments? So that's the first question. Okay. Second question is, now that we're in season 3, or whatever, we're in season 3 of the new Warzone, right? What's your go-to loadout right now? What are you using? Let's start with Moulty.
I'm gonna start with Moulty. Moulty got hacked. Okay, we don't need this conversation.
I forgot. Okay, you know what? Moulty doesn't count.
nothing.
Actually, you know what? Actually, you got hacked, right? So, that being said, now that you had to start over, what would you rather have then? Would you rather have your old account so you can build all that stuff, or would you rather had it to where it wouldn't have mattered?
It's still the way that they changed things. They changed the guns so drastically. The ones that I didn't have leveled up are before. It doesn't matter to me now. I would level up the meta because why wouldn't you level up the meta so you could have that class gun? And why would you run around with a gun that's shooting blanks? So it honestly, that part doesn't really matter. The biggest thing that does matter is that I lost all my double XP, so now it takes me 12 years to get something so I can have all the damn attachments. That's the part that bothers me the most.
Cowboy, what would you prefer? Do you prefer finding all your attachments, or would you prefer the way it's set up now? And then what are you going to use right now?
Honestly, with the way it's used right now, you can get your own gun. You can get what you're comfortable with. I think that's what a lot of the game is playing with what you're comfortable with. You're going to see people with the M16s, even the M4A1 from Modern Warfare. You're going to see people with HDRs versus cars. It's honestly like, it's how you want to play is one thing I like about you get your own loadout. One thing I'd like about your getting your own attachments and picking all your own guns up is you have a very equal chance. Sorry, my low battery. You have a very equal chance to. I mean, you're gonna see a guy that's been playing for the entire time of Modern Warfare, or someone like Moulty that has a brand new account. You're
Wow.
You have a very equal chance when you're picking up guns and your own attachments. You just got to know where to look. But also with that, are they going to put better attachments in more populated areas, or are they going to make it equal throughout the map? There's also that. And honestly, my go-to loadout, I was loaded into a couple games a day, and I've never really been much of a sniper, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick up a car and an M4, and I did pretty good with it. So I think I'm going to stick with the car for a little bit and the M4.
Chico,
Yeah.
what you rocking, and what do you prefer? Do you prefer picking up everything, or do you prefer the way Warzone has it currently?
I think I would enjoy more of the game picking up the attachments separately than loading in with your own loadout, just because it makes you actually have a strategy to plan. Why? Because not like in this case, he's running a sniper. Usually, Moulty runs a sniper. No. Yes.
No, I never
Yes, you
put a
do.
sniper in Warzone.
You lie. What do you
I
mean?
do not.
Well,
I
anyways.
run LMGs anyways.
Wow, disgusting. LMG. I think picking up the attachments from the ground would be better. It'll give you more strategy to the game than just loading in with your guns already with your loadout. And then for the guns that I'm gonna be running this season. For now, it's gonna be the Ram, which is Modern Warfare gun, and then the Farah, which is a cold gun for close counter, because it got a boost on damage and a recoil control.
All right. And to end it, when it comes to satisfaction of a win, I think it's better to pick up your attachments. Like I played Apex the other day. You had to pick up all your attachments, find all your guns. Now you can upgrade your stuff as you go along, but it was satisfying to win. It was satisfying to win. The few times I played PUBG, very satisfying to win. Didn't have a lot of blackout wins because I didn't play it a lot, but it was very satisfying to win. That I think when you have to build it as you go, personally. And then I'm gonna rock the Swiss K. Was it the Swiss K31? I used it last night. Oh man, that thing's gonna be a beamer. Just wait. I think next update, I'm pretty sure the car is gonna take a dive, and that's gonna be the go-to. And then, believe it or not, I used the XM4 last night as my secondary, and I think got a buff. I'm not 100% sure, but that thing beams right now. All right,
Which one?
the XM4.
Really?
Yeah, Cold War M4. Believe it or not. All right.
Hey.
Oh, what's up?
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The sniper that you were talking about is the new one, right?
Yeah,
the
Swiss K31.
When I saw the new battle pass and I saw that gun, and I was like, this is going to definitely beat the Car 98, and I'm 100% sure it's going to destroy it.
There's no way it's not. I can already tell. It's a one tap on the head. Bullet
Yeah.
drop's not that bad. I already looked into it. There's no way that gun is not going to be broken, especially very shortly. I think that the next update they're going to destroy. They're going to destroy the AMAX because it's still good, and they're going to destroy. Well, yeah, the Stoner does still slap because it's a Cold War gun. Now, I will say this.
Exactly.
I will say this. This whole I saw this today too, and this made me think. I don't really think there's much of a meta right now. Now, obviously, the Krig 6 is broken as hell, but I think it'll be fixed. I think that a lot of Cold War guns are equally good. I see too many meta videos going on right now, and that's what the TikTok I saw today said is like, don't call it a meta when there's like 6 or 7 guns. How about you just say the guns are actually closer to balance for a change, which could be true, but we'll see. Anyways, that is all the time we got for the podcast. I want to thank Chico, Cowboy, and Moulty for joining me today. Gentlemen, do you have anything to plug before we sign off here?
No, I'll send you the link.
All right, Chico, he streams. Chico Chavez 12. Cowboy, he's on TikTok. He's got a decent following over there. If you like country music, you'll love Cowboy. Moulty, he's just the average Joe like me. I guess go Red Sox for Moulty. But anyways, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And we're going to do this every week. Monday will be the day. So make sure you look out for it. It'll be on YouTube. Have a great day. Peace. All right. This segment I like to call 3 Casuals and a Die Hard. If you didn't know, Mortal Kombat came out today. Well, not today because this is getting released on Monday, but it came out on April 23rd. It hit HBO Max at midnight and obviously hit the theaters on Friday, and I thought it was a huge success. I think HBO Max is doing some big things currently, and the fact they were able to get a hold of this movie right after getting a hold of Godzilla versus Kong is huge. Between that and the Snyder Cut, they're making big waves. I think WB is really doing the right thing right now with the pandemic going on, trying to get these big movies across, because they could have easily waited. It was a big film, great action scenes. This is not a movie that you have to be a diehard fan like our friend Big Head over here. You do not have to be a diehard fan to like the movie, which is awesome. I thought I very much enjoy Mortal Kombat. I played the games as a kid, but I was not a huge diehard fan of the game. But this movie did a very good job of character building and showing off the abilities and the fight skills of each individual. I very much enjoyed it. This will be a movie I'm going to watch over and over again easily, because this is something you just kind of shut your mind off, in my opinion, and just let the movie play out and do its thing. We're going to let me first introduce who we got. We got Big Head. He's up the top left corner. We got Corona, top right corner, and obviously we got Moulty. We all saw the movie this morning. I saw it. I tried to see it at 5 in the morning. I kind of stayed up a little too late. That didn't happen. It worked very well for me. But I did manage to wake up, see it at noon. I got the whole thing in. And again, we'll do our final ratings at the end. We're just going to talk a little bit about the movie and go from there. Just in case you haven't seen it, just know there will most likely be spoilers. So this is your warning now that there will be spoilers in this about this movie as we review it and go over what we liked, what we didn't like, what we want to see, what we wanted to see, and then maybe what we're going to see in the future if they decide to continue and make a couple more. But that'll be obviously something for the future to look forward to. So to start off, Big Head he's a diehard Mortal Kombat fan. He's been playing this game since they first came out. He's going to give his opinion on the movie first. I think it's a good thing to start off with the person that, anticipated the movie the most and kind of go from there. So Big Head, take it away. What did you think of the movie?
Honestly, I thought the movie was my rating's a 10 out of 10. Like, it will seem like the video games brought to real life. They had actual fatalities in there. They had animalities. They had they just had things. They even had actual combo moves you see in the games brought into the movies. They brought characters that I've never thought I would see in big screens, like Cabal. That was probably one of my favorite characters to see within the game. They got his animations correct. They had some of his sick moves, his little freaking corner moves and stuff. I honestly think it was a 10 out of 10 movie. Like, I would recommend it. I've watched it twice already. Like, it's so good. I'm probably gonna watch it a third time and go to the movies for it, because it's just such a good movie. I highly recommend it.
Corona, what did you think of the movie?
It was a good movie. I gotta admit, seeing my personal favorite Scorpion and Sub-Zero, because every time I play the game with my siblings, I would play Scorpion, and just seeing it brought to not a big theater, but to HBO Max is such like a good thing, because we're in quarantine and everything, and that movie was just insane. Loved the characters, loved the fatalities, as Big Head said, the character development. It was just flat out amazing. 11 out of 10.
All right, and Moulty, you saw it as well this morning. What did you think?
Being as casual of a Mortal Kombat person as I am, I'd have friends over and we'd run tournaments, stuff like that. That's the extent of my Mortal Kombat. I did get a little confused with a little bit of the stuff. A little bit of, like, I still don't even know who the main character was. That main guy, I don't even know who he was trying to portray still. I didn't really. There was a few things. They weren't major things, but I was still like a little confused with it. But other than that, it was definitely it was Mortal Kombat. Like, they definitely portrayed that to an extent that I would never believe they would. As soon as they started getting in all the fights and stuff, and people's heads started disappearing, I would. Oh, okay, this is Mortal Kombat, isn't it? So I would give it definitely a solid 8. Just for the couple of parts where they didn't really clarify.
For Moulty's sake, can you explain the main character to Moulty, please?
So that main character is actually a newest character they added into the movie. It's never before seen. He's literally a new character, a new protagonist that we've seen for the first time, actually.
And from my
So,
my understanding, he's Scorpion's bloodline, correct?
yes,
Yeah.
it's his. That's the son that you saw at the beginning of the movie.
All right. So again, like I said, there will be spoilers in this podcast. So the part that confused Moulty, which will probably actually confuse the casual fan, because he's not in the games. In the very beginning, you kind of they right off the bat give a nice history of Mortal Kombat and what all it means, the tournament is, and what all is going on in the film. So in the film, again, spoilers right now. So if you have not seen the movie and you do not want me to ruin anything, you need to skip to the very end and just see the ratings, or my rating if you want to see that rating. That's all you came for. But here we go. So in the beginning of the movie, right off the bat, they show the history of Scorpion's bloodline. Sub-Zero comes in and, for the most part, kills Scorpion. And you see that they were able to save his daughter, and his bloodline is passed on throughout the history to present time, where then you meet the main character. And Big Head, I can't remember. What's the main character's name again?
I'm actually not entirely sure what his name was. It did take me a while because I couldn't figure. He said it once, and I could not remember what his name is.
Yeah, it wasn't something. That's probably why someone like Moulty or even the casual viewer will get confused. Is they did not clarify a lot of things about him, just that he had the mark, and then later down the line you find out he is Scorpion's bloodline. Big Head's going to look it up for us so we can get that information. But they go through it. You start to see what all's going on. How, real quick. Okay, actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over one thing. I'm going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like. Actually, because I don't want to destroy the movie for people. Even though this right here is about to pretty much destroy the movie for people. Again, spoilers. How do y'all feel about them not actually having the tournament? Like, let's be honest, right? It's called Mortal Kombat. We know it's a tournament, and they actually don't have the tournament. They kind of do it on their own time, but
because it wasn't happening yet. That's why.
No, and I get that.
What was going on was Shao Kahn, which was yeah.
But here's my point, though, right? So obviously in the movie it wasn't happening because they were trying to prevent it from happening because they wanted just to take over. But you know, when you hear Mortal Kombat, right, and you're trying to compare it to the games, did you expect there to be a tournament? Like, do you think that might be something that they do later down the line because of how they ended it, to where if it does well, which I don't see why it won't do well, right? I expect the next movie, if there's a next movie, to have the actual tournament and to see what actually happens. Because that was the one thing I was a little disappointed in, where they're talking about this tournament the whole time, building and training for this tournament, and then there's no tournament. You know what I mean? So, Big Head, we'll start with you, and then we'll go with Corona and Moulty. But what was your thoughts on that? Or am I crazy for thinking that?
It refers to a single elim kind of martial arts tournament. So basically, it's supposed to mediate the disputes between all the realms, which is outward. If a realm could conquer the other realm 10 consecutive times in a row, they have the victorious realm basically consumes and basically takes over that world. That's what the tournament is for. Basically, it's basically a way of protecting their realms. I like that they did add the tournaments, because even in the movies, and not the movies, the games, they're always trying to like stop the villains, because the villains think that if they destroy them now, they could take over the world, because then who's gonna stop them? So of course the villains are always gonna break the rules and try to find their sneaky way to get through. I feel like they will do the tournament, but they're setting up for all the heroes to come in. Like, Moulty said, not Moulty, Message said, spoiler ahead, at the end of the movie, they hint to bring Johnny Cage in, which was the last part of it. Now they gotta go out, find more heroes, because like Shao Kahn said, he's gonna bring an army. He's not gonna just be settled down. He's gonna come with a full force. So now they gotta get prepared, because if they can make it to the tournament, he has to follow the rules. He can't just bring in. The reason Raiden doesn't do anything is because as the god, he can't interfere. He can't. But of course, he has his little sneaky things, which is why he gave the main protagonist Scorpion's blade. That was his way of helping out. So I feel like yeah, you know what, they like, but at the same time, they're not ready for the tournament. Sonya barely got her powers. Jax barely got his metal arms. They're all barely learning, so I feel like it's actually good they didn't add the tournament, because I feel like that would have ruined the movie completely. Because there would have been no character build up at all.
Okay, now that I've heard, that makes a lot more sense now to me. Moulty, you being casual, right? After hearing this from Big, does that make more sense to you about like what's going on in general?
Yeah, going from not really playing to playing the games, but like having like the basic understanding of the characters. Like as soon as he said that he wasn't in the games, it just clarified it already. I was like, okay, so who are you? You said I don't even know your damn name. Who are you? But it absolutely clarified it because.
So for those who are not aware, our main protagonist is Cole Young.
All right, Moulty. So his name is Cole Young, and they didn't even mention it that much.
They really didn't. That's what bothered me the most. I got the whole lineage thing. I got everything like that, but like when he got his powers, it didn't. It was like I thought he was that bloodline, but yeah, it's going on a whole different tangent. It was all they didn't do that part right. But like Big Head said, they did. I do like how they did the character development, how they didn't do the tournament. Because otherwise, if they did the tournament, it just would have felt rushed, and it wouldn't have been as good as it was. So they set themselves up perfectly to make a second, possibly even a third movie.
All right, Chrono, what do you think, Chrono?
I honestly thought they were gonna have the tournament. I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, it was pretty cool. Learning their powers, learning how to control them, how to use them properly. But yeah, I think it would have been a little better if they had the tournament. But like Big Head said, they're just waiting because they're just developing, and it makes more sense that they're just introducing the characters for now, and maybe in a later movie they're gonna show them in the actual tournament.
All right, yeah, I will say this now that I've seen the movie. Big Head has given us a way better explanation on how this movie played out. I will definitely say that because I believe this movie is going to end up being a success, I could see a second, maybe even a third movie. Again, I was a little disappointed at first, thinking like, oh, the training for this tournament, I thought it was going to happen. But now that I've gotten a better explanation of what all's going on, I completely agree with Big Head. I think that they literally just did the right thing. This is a true backstory for anybody that doesn't know a lot about Mortal Kombat. You get to meet a lot of the characters, or a few of the characters. You get to see how they got their powers. They explain to you what Mortal Kombat is, what the symbol on them is, how some of them got it, because some of them got it. Again, spoiler, if you kill someone with the Mortal Kombat symbol on it, you get it. So, and two of the people, they show one of them, but two of the people they referenced in this got it because they killed somebody. So that was pretty cool to see. And again, I was thinking, we start seeing them train for this tournament. I thought for sure the tournament was going to happen. But now that we've got a better understanding of what was going on, it makes a lot more sense to me. One of the big things I liked was when they finally had all their fight scenes. Those fight scenes were in areas that the game portrays. I thought that was really cool. And it was really cool to see that on a cinema screen compared to obviously just a video game. Like really seeing the CGI work that it must have took to get those I don't even know what you call it, the places where they're fighting. I thought they did a phenomenal job on that. The characters and the CGI they did for the characters, the makeup and hair they did for the characters, they did a great job bringing these bigger than life video game characters to that screen. And it's something I think maybe it's just the time, right? When was the last Mortal Kombat movie? It was years ago. But this was a huge change, and being able to do what you can do now with technology and CGI definitely is going to play a big part and making this a reality and a way better movie than we've seen in the past. I'm very glad they did the way they did it. I don't feel like it was rushed. I feel like you can make 2 or 3 movies, maybe even 4. And here's the other thing, too, we haven't even mentioned. I think that this allows them to make another video game that who knows if they're already developing with Cole Young in it, right? Obviously, if you're going to make another video game, you don't bring him in the video game, you're an idiot, right? You just had a movie come out with a new character who is the star of the movie. If you don't make a video game with him in it, then you are dumb. So we will see how that plays out. Big, what did you think about the fight scenes?
The actual movie was phenomenal. It was like I never thought I would see it, where he grabs his hat, throws it to the ground, and he shoves them into the hat. It was it's like I was freaking out the whole entire time. And definitely the animality. Thought because in the game, so there's different like little fun things that they always added. So then for them to add the animality, just proves that there's so much more that they could do with this movie. Like it was just, and even I think when Kung Lao, he did it, he killed him, and he was like, what is it, flawless victory. That like sent chills down my spine. That was amazing to hear. I don't know, that was just so freaking awesome to just see, and like my childhood was basically right there. But like I could tell you right now that they put a high standard for the next movie for sure. They put themselves in a high standard, and I hope they go up and beyond what they did with this movie.
I completely agree. I think that diehard Mortal Kombat fans will be very pleased with the fight scenes, how they did the fight scenes, where they did the fight scenes, the finishing moves. I think they will be very, very pleased with it, which is great. I mean, like, me as, like I said, a casual fan, right? I know about it. I know all the fight scenes. I know the finishers. It was great to see them, but I think, for a casual fan, it's cool, and I enjoyed the movie, but I think this is going to be huge for diehards. I really do think they went out there and put a standard on it, and I think that, if you have someone like Big Head, who is a diehard Mortal Kombat fan, and he just had chills the whole time, I think that other diehard fans have, they probably already seen the movie, probably twice, like Big Head, and I think that they have set themselves up to have a little successful franchise. So we will see if they will get a second and third one going. I think if they don't, it's a failed mark. So hopefully they do knock that out. Corona, what was some of your favorite scenes in the movie?
Before you go to Corona,
go ahead.
To fill anyone in who hasn't played the games, spoiler alert ahead. Because you guys were talking about that, why they didn't do the tournament. In the games, they actually never get to the tournament because the villains try stopping them. So that's why I say that they set it up pretty well. Because even in the games, they really can't get to the tournaments because the villains are doing what they can because they don't want to. If they follow the tournament, they know they're going to lose because they got to follow the rules. That's why I say that this movie was set up pretty good. I just wanted to let you guys know that so you guys are aware of why I say this movie was set up pretty good like the games.
Awesome. That's another huge thing. Again, me being a casual, not knowing that, but now I know. That's awesome to know. Corona, what was some of your favorite scenes, and what did you like most about the movie?
Wow, let me tell you, man, a lot of the fight scenes was just unbelievable. My personal favorite where they send Liu Kang to fight, God, what's his name? Big Head, do you know his name? The guy with the red eyes?
Cabal.
Yeah, that guy. Where, like, Liu Kang's just tired of him and he starts doing his bicycle kick into that lively stuff. That was just so good. And then where he gets his
I got chills again.
his fire dragon and just kills him right there. That was just amazing. And where just the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero fight was pretty good. I was expecting a little more, but it was just pretty good. I liked it.
All right, and Moulty, you got to watch it today. What were some of your favorite fight scenes about the movie?
Honestly, I loved all the fight scenes. All the fight scenes, it just made me feel like I was playing the game again. They made me feel like I was playing the game again. It just brought back all those memories of me hanging out with my buddies, having our little tournament ourselves. As far as the whole story goes and the whole tournament goes, the little bit of like the campaigns or the story modes that I would play, I didn't even remember tournament modes. I didn't even know what they were really talking about with that. So it kind of was like, oh, well, that they're just following that. So I wasn't any bit confused on that. But the only thing that I really had a gripe about was them not being entirely clear on everything, and a little bit of the acting for the diehard fans and the people that have played the game, they definitely understand. For the casual people, yeah, the whole fatality and stuff like that, it was cool, but at the same time, it was a little cheesy. Like, okay, do we for the diehard? Yeah, I understand it completely, but it for the other people, they're gonna hear the flawless victory and they're gonna be like, he said, "What now? What did you just say?" So that
I
there
get you
were
there.
definitely some cheesy parts to it. I understood because I have played the games before. For someone that maybe hasn't even played the games before, he's obviously gonna turn around and yell flawless victory. They're looking at the screen like, what are you talking about? Who's he talking to? But that other than that, all the fights it looked like a regular Mortal Kombat video game, and it was absolutely insane with all the CG. The CG was so impressive. It was all just an all around incredible movie.
All right, and then of course, I'll finish it off. My favorite part, of course, every time I play one of two characters. I'm either Sub-Zero or I'm a Scorpion. That's it. That was the only two characters I ever played growing up. I played some of the other ones, but I didn't really want to play some of the other ones. Okay, those were my go-tos. So to see them at the end, just go at it, it was something special. It definitely brought some childhood memories of me playing with my cousins, Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. So I was excited to see that. Overall, since everyone else already gave the rating, I got to give this, especially it being on HBO Max. Okay, so I gave Godzilla vs. Kong an 8 out of 10. And after I've been watching the other ones, I'm slowly lowering that standard down even less because I can't really claim that it's better than Kong on Skull Island. And I can't claim that it's better than Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I gave that an 8 out of 10. So I'm going to lower my rating on that to a 7 out of 10 because I want to put this at 8 out of 10. I feel like if I was a diehard fan, I would have rated it higher. But I'm not a diehard fan. Because I know, obviously, like I said, but I think for this movie, for me, being a casual fan, 8 out of 10 is good. I think the fact that someone like Big Head, who's a diehard fan, the fact that he thought it was a 10 out of 10, that's how you know it was a good movie. Because at the end of the day, this movie is for the diehard fans first. And if the diehard fans can be happy with the movie and love it that much, then they did a great job. And if someone like me who's just a casual fan can enjoy it at an 8 out of 10 level, I think that's great. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Again, my opinion, though, on this matter doesn't matter, right? What matters is the diehards. And according to Big Head, if you're a diehard, you're going to love this movie.
But I will lower it down a little bit because I do have two issues with the movie.
Oh, go ahead.
I would actually give it about a 9.8 only because one, the way they did Reptile, they made him an actual reptile. I kind of really didn't. I like the whole camouflage. That was sick. But at first, because in the old movies, Shao Kahn has like these little lizard things that camouflage and attack Liu Kang. I thought it was one of those. That's why I was like, I couldn't tell it was Reptile until he actually uncloaked himself. So I didn't really like that as much. And the way they did Raiden. In the games, he's so much more, it's like he was a little bit more wimpy in the movie. I feel like he could have been a lot more intimidating because usually when the villains see Raiden and they saw him, they all get like shocked. But in there, they were just like, okay. That's what my issue was, that he really didn't have that force to be reckoned with. So it was still 9.8 is pretty good for me because, like I said, everything that I've seen in games was there, but I feel like they could have done a little better with Reptile and definitely Raiden. Raiden could have been a lot better than what he was.
All right. That's fair enough. A couple gripes. I guarantee you, 80 diehard fan, they'll take 2 gripes all day. All day. There's no way you don't like 2 gripes. So, again, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. You heard the other gentleman here score. Great movie. If you've got HBO Max, go watch it. If you don't have HBO Max, go to the movies and watch it. Wear your mask, please. And more importantly, if you don't have HBO Max and you don't want to go to the theaters, you know how easy it is to create an account with HBO Max and get the free trial for 7 days? There is no excuse not to go see this movie. Zero excuse. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. Moulty, thank you. Corona, thank you. Big Head, thank you. Is there anything y'all want to plug before y'all get out of here?
Go Red Sox.
Twitch. My Twitch is Prototype505. Go find me there. I have some great content, but message is much better than me. That's all I gotta say.
Big Head, what's up?
Find me on Twitch, Big Head 5995 on Twitch. What's up?
No,
Good?
sorry.
Good?
You're good. All right, so definitely go follow
Big
these guys
Head
on Twitch.
5995 on all social medias, basically.
Definitely go follow these guys. I'll have all their links in the description. Again, thank you for joining us on the first episode of Message Reviews Podcast. We will be doing this every Monday. Topics will change. So you never know what you're going to get. You know, today we happen to get a movie. We got some other content, obviously, that you've already seen. But I want to just thank everybody for being here. It means the world. And I'll keep pumping those reviews out so we can get this podcast out once a week. And that's all I got. So, peace.